What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I've got another NIO update. So all of the electric vehicle stocks, especially the Chinese electric vehicles companies, are absolutely ripping today. I'm going to go over all of the reasons why these stocks are moving to the upside. And if you guys wait to the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys and go into detail on the specific option plays that I have and that I'm looking to get into for NIO Day coming up. Now, before we get into all of that, if you guys enjoy this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get all this information out to as many people as possible, and you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a few new ones. Looking at the chart of NIO, it is up about 6.5% right now, and that's $3.33 to the 53.83 mark. Now, recently, NIO has had a little bit of a pullback, and it's kind of been bouncing around, but overall, since the end of the year on December 28th, this is kind of the bottom in the last week, we've seen NIO really rally up into its NIO Day coming on Saturday. Now, I'm going to get into NIO Day and what you can expect a little bit later in this video, but for right now, it's just a very important day, and NIO is having a very strong run-up into this event. Now, NIO had a very interesting day yesterday. If we go over here and take a look at this article, we can see that NIO, LI, and XPeng have all turned lower after U.S. officials consider banning Americans from investing in Alibaba. Now, a lot of people thought that the protests and the invasion of the Capitol was the reason that these stocks fell and kind of fell with the overall market. But if you were really paying attention, this is really the reason why they fell. Now, I don't think that this is any cause for concern because, as we saw today, Biden just got confirmed as the president, and we all know that he is very environmentally friendly, which helps out electric vehicles as a whole. And he seems like he wants to be kind of lax on China and doesn't really want to put a lot of regulations, especially not to the level that President Trump has. Now, I think we're going to see NIO really rally this year, especially with the Biden administration. But we saw here that these Chinese electric vehicle stocks and Chinese stocks in general are subject to these delisting threats. Now, they're really not a big deal. I talked about it in my last video. I don't think NIO has any chance of getting delisted, but these threats do cause a big dip in the short term, so it is something to look out for. But with NIO Day coming up and all of the other good news that this company is putting out, I think it's just a no-brainer to just put it aside and continue on the path of just putting money into NIO and letting it ride up in the future. In 2 days, we have a massive event for NIO. If you're a shareholder and you've been holding for a long time, this event may not cause that much concern for you if you bought in at such a low price. But if you bought in recently or you're an options trader, this event is going to be huge. So if we go over and take a look, NIO is going to unveil its new sedan, the ET7, and it is going to rival the Tesla Model 3. Now, Tesla has said that 47% of all of their vehicle sales will come from China in the few coming years. Now, that's important because if NIO can create a competitive model that has better software and it is just as good as the Tesla Model 3, and it comes out at a very competitive price point, we could see NIO gain a higher market share in China and start to push Tesla out, which would send NIO's valuation to the moon. Now, NIO is also set to unveil their 150 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, as I've said before, a lot of what the valuation of these electric vehicle companies has to do with is the technology that they put out. Vehicle sales are very important. As we saw, NIO was up 100% in vehicle delivery numbers in 2020 versus 2019, but the technology is really what pushes the stock price higher. If you look at Tesla's valuation, they're valued at over $1 million per car sold, which is absolutely insane when their cars are not even close to that price. So it's really the technology that gives these companies such a high valuation. If NIO can come out with this 150 kilowatt hour battery pack and put it in all of its vehicles, NIO will have the top spot in range for all of the electric vehicles in the world, giving it a range of 900 kilometers, and that's going to convert to about 500 to 600 miles. And they're also going to roll out 100 charging stations and battery swap stations in 2021 in China. So what that means is if you have an older NIO model and you want the new technology and the new range, get more range out of your vehicle, you can go to one of these charging swap stations and have your battery swapped out for the new model, so you don't have to sell your car and get a new one. This is a very good business model for NIO because it creates 2 points of sale for the customers: the initial sale for buying the car and then the next sale for having their battery swapped. Now, it is going to result in more sales because most people are not just going to sell their car and then buy the new one when it comes out. They're more likely to actually upgrade for the new technology if they're enjoying their car that they have currently. NIO is also set to gain market share in the European market as well in 2021. They've said that they are going to create a fully functional distribution chain, starting with a factory in Denmark. Now, once they have this factory set up, they have the possibility to put up charging stations and dealerships all around Europe, which is going to give better access to NIO vehicles in the European market. The closest thing that we have seen the other electric vehicle companies in China do to expanding into the European market is XPeng, and they have only said that they are going to directly deliver cars to customers in Europe. Now, NIO is going to have a way greater chance of gaining a better market share if they can set up a fully functional factory and dealership. It's going to be more cost effective as well because shipping the cars is not really the best idea if you want to be moving a lot of volume in the European market. Now, they're also going to be rolling out a robo-taxi. They've partnered up with Mobileye to create a robo-taxi in Tel Aviv. Now, if they can get this software into all of their vehicles, NIO will have basically the number one spot in autonomous technology as well, and that's going to really push the valuation higher. Now, that's also something we need to look out for on NIO Day on Saturday. They are probably going to mention some sort of autonomous technology advancement. It's just probably what's going to happen. They have said that their NT 2.0 platform is going to contain some sort of autonomous software, and it might even be in the new sedan, which would be an unbelievably great news for this company. I like to trade a lot of options, especially when there's an event coming up in the near future, and NIO Day serves as a perfect event. It's going to kind of serve the purpose very similar to that of an earnings event. There's going to be a run-up into the event, and there's going to be an IV run-up, implied volatility, and usually you can flip premium right before the event. And if the event is good enough and the news is really great, you can get a massive continuation after, and you can make more money that way. So if we go and look at the option chain for NIO, this is the next week expiration date. We can see that these contracts are incredibly expensive. They're going to be $3.67 for the at the monies, and you can go even out to the 60s, and they're still $1.76, which is going to amount to $176 per contract, since an option contract controls 100 shares of stock. The implied volatility on this option chain is really high, but the open interest is also incredibly high. So we can see that the 60s have an open interest of 45,000, and that means that 45,000 contracts are being held in people's brokerage accounts right now. And now the volume today on these contracts is incredibly high. So 12,000 of the 60s have been bought and sold today. Now, this could be people selling off their contracts ahead of NIO Day, but it could also be people buying in on the expectation that NIO is going to crush this event. So these contracts are really expensive. I don't really like playing super expensive contracts if I don't see that the contracts that are at the money are going to be really, really expensive as well. So like if these were $1.75, if I were to go after these contracts, I would like to see the at the monies be at least $9 to $11 so that there's a high probability of making a lot of money. What I've done is I've gone over to the LI option chain, which is another electric vehicle company in China, and they tend to follow NIO's price movement. So right now I have the $37 strike for next week. Now these contracts are up a lot today. I did have previously these $35 strikes, but I had some weak hands yesterday and I thought there was going to be more news about Chinese delisting, and I sold them for a pretty decent profit, but not as much as I could have. So I did hop back in with about the same amount of money that I had in these $35 contracts, just for a couple strikes higher. Now, I still think that these contracts have a great chance of going in the money, and you can see that the open interest on these contracts is a little bit less. But if you've watched some of my other videos, the open interest was a lot lower than it is today. So a lot of people are buying these contracts, and you can see over here, there's been 6,500 about of these contracts traded today, the 35s. These are the at the money contracts, and 1,000 of the contracts that I have, there's been 1,200 of these traded. So I'm probably going to hold these contracts throughout tomorrow, and then if I can make them free and they go up over 100%, I will sell them and then carry the rest of those through NIO Day this weekend, and hopefully we get a great continuation next week off of the news that NIO provides us. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed what I had for you in this one, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.